everybody. This is the Creators One Business segment from the Creators One Business News, and every segment that we produce, regardless of whatever segment we're doing, we have Joy, we have all the other teams. You know, we have Evie, we have everybody, we have everything going on when it comes to Horizon World's I'm sorry, when it comes to Horizon World's news. Sometimes you're gonna hear me say Meta because we made the transition from Meta News to Creators One News. So this is the Creators One Business segment. I'm El Blanco, and this is what I do. So if you haven't ever had the opportunity to see some of the segments that I've done, that's on the YouTube channel, we're transferring everything over from the YouTube channel to our website. So if you go to creators1news.com, you'll be able to see everything that we do. You can even book us for the different services that we provide. So if you've ever been in any podcast with me, if you ever seen me from way back in the day on Oculus, Oculus 310 show, all the way from working with Hardy and whatever, you know that I typically speak on business. I speak on law. I speak on everything that's dealing with the 21st century, y'all. I've been preparing for this moment, and for me to be alive and well during the time of the digital divide that we're in today, I'm right on time. Now, in Horizon Worlds, I've met some very talented people, very informed people, and very talented people like that will serve a purpose to help everyone that's members here. So no matter what you're here to do, there's someone here that can assist you and help you along the way and help you go past different obstacles or different things that you haven't experienced yet or different things you don't know about. And that's what I'm here for. So I remember when I first started with when it was Meta News, it was Dollar Beasy, right? Because I was just a promoter. It was Dollar Beasy that told me I need to talk to Miss Rox. So Miss Roxy, she, you know what I'm saying, she spoke with me. She and Dragon gave me an interview, and they said, "Okay, yeah, you can bring that to the table because people are gonna need that." So I've been here ever since, y'all, and because I've been here, it's giving me a greater visibility. It's giving me greater credibility as well. And then other teams that watch what we do and watch how we move, it's just a certain level of respect and we have credibility. So along with that, that's what I'm trying to make sure that we all understand when you come here to our different shows, all of our shows. If you go to our shows, you're going to see some significant people there that's been here from day one in Meta News that's really doing some things. Okay, so basically, just for everyone to know, if you need to leave out or do something, the exit button is here on the wall. But you can always come back in through the front door, but the exit button is there. So if you start walking around, I see you bumping into the walls because you're trying to find a way out. It doesn't work that way. The exit button is right there on the wall. Okay, so now we're gonna start tonight with a basic topic, right? To most people, it's a basic topic, but to some people, they just don't know,
You talk.
right? So what I'm talking about tonight is we're dealing with things like chat gpt, or if you're dealing with bard, you're dealing with these AI tools that are free that can assist you and help you be more efficient, more effective. Now, I'm not going to go into the conversation dealing with all the different products out there because you can easily go online and type in the top 20 AI products out there today, or the top 20 tools right now that you can use to help you do whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I would suggest that you do that. You always do that because everything that's coming out now in the 21st century is new information. It's new technology that's coming to us. But what I'm going to talk about is the basic stuff that you can get right on the browser, on your any browser you're on. You can type in Bard, and that'll give you the AI that Google has, right? So I'm going to speak on Bard today because I had to use Bard today for my cousin, right? And I did something that would have normally taken me probably a week to do. I did it today in a matter of hours, and I used Bard to cut all that time in half and to minimize the effort that it would have taken for me to find the proper information. And I'm going to be very detailed tonight too with this, and it's not going to be long at all. So what my cousin wanted to do was he wanted to do a quiet title, and what that means is we have a property, right, that we need to get the title to, right? And so many different processes to getting a title. Um, you got $200,000, $500,000 to pay for something and say it's paid off and then record it and you have title. Or you want to go a different route to get the title that doesn't require having all that money because there's legal means and legal ways to get a title. So we're talking about title to a property, right? So when I say quiet a title, I want you to understand that everything that's owned, someone holds title to it. Okay, everything that's owned in this society, someone holds a title to it, and this system is worldwide. It's a universal international type deal under the Uniform Commercial Code. So anyway, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to get him to understand when I get ready to do this research for him, I'm going to show him exactly how I do it. So I don't know the law. Well, let me stop. Let me stop. Everybody knows that I know law, but I don't know the law like on the back of my head. I didn't write it. I don't keep up. I'm not an attorney, right? But I can comprehend it and I know where to find it, right? So what I do is I ask Bard a very specific question to begin with, in any chat GPT system that you will have, a language model. I said, hey, um, give me the best or the best practices to start a process of a private, or a it don't even have to be private, it can be a quiet title action, because I want to quiet a title. And what quieting a title is, someone is holding a title to something and you think that you can get that title for whatever reason. Maybe you pay taxes on the property, maybe the property owner is trespassing, maybe you have paid the tax liens, whatever. You want the title to that property. So I'm asking it. But when I ask it, right, it's not going to give me what I need to understand. And that's what I need everybody to know. Whenever you get information, they're already indexing these systems to give you general information, and they're going to direct you to an attorney all the time. They're going to always say this, say that. They're going to say some discouraging things or some things that's going to seem like overwhelming. And we suggest you use an attorney, right? And the reason they do that, because the attorneys are members of the state board, and everyone who's our agents of the state always look out for the best interests of the state. So they won't really tell you how to do things that are going to totally benefit you. They'll help you and do what they need to do if they can make money off your situation, or if they can redirect you back to the state. With that being understood, the information you ask it, right, it's going to give you general information. So you're not going to take that information as facts. You're not going to take it as the answer. So you're going to look into what they give you, the response that they give you, and you're going to pull keywords out, because now they have given you keywords for specifics. So then you ask the question again, right? Because the information they gave you was general. You ask the information again. You may say this time, um, well, put it this way, based on a statement that they made today in the process of what I was doing. They made a statement today that said private action is contingent upon specific circumstances found in the codes of this particular state. I don't want to say the state because people know my cousin, the particular state. And so that gave me a green light. Okay, so my next question is, give me the codes that governs quieting a title for the state of so and so. Now it gave me the specific title, right? That specific title came to me. Now I'm looking at the specific title. Now I don't know the title. If you're not an attorney, you wouldn't know how to go about it, right? So I say now, I change the question, dealing with what you gave me, what you presented me with, break it down in layman's terms what this title is, because these AI tools are language models. They're supposed to be able to take your language in plain English and give it back to you what you're asking. Then it turns around and it breaks it down in layman's terms what this title is. Once it does that, I have an understanding of what I'm looking at now, without having to be an attorney, without having to be a judge, without having to have went to school for this particular body of information. And the reason I'm saying it that way, I'm being specific by these terms when I say body of information, because if you are indeed an attorney, you cannot even practice law unless you have a license in that law area. So that's what I mean by body of information. So it would normally take a lawyer that's practicing law in that area of law to understand what I just asked it to give me in layman's terms. So when it gives it to you in layman's terms, that means it breaks it down into a simpler format. Now you can understand what they're talking about. And if you don't understand totally or completely, you have enough understanding to ask individual questions for every single thing you don't understand. And then when you spend about an hour on one topic like that, you will have actually gain the knowledge on literally how to go do what you need to do about that situation. So now, why am I sharing this tonight, right? For my cousin, he know what he needs to do, and it's a guaranteed outcome that he's gonna acquire the property, right? The whole property, right? It ain't gonna cost him 10,000s or 20 or 30, $50,000 to do so. He's not gonna spend years in court, right? Because we've looked up the law, the process of law, how to go about getting this particular title based on the particulars of the circumstance that the law recognizes, not our ideas of what we think should be, but how the law recognizes it. So now we can apply this in every other situation of our lives, right? So let's take, for instance, you have a nephew, right? Police gets behind him, pulls him over, does him dirty, because the nephew ain't gonna know what law is. He just, it may be his first time ever having any type of negative experience with the police department. Okay, so now he goes through some negative situation. They assign him a public defender because, of course, he don't have money to pay for an attorney. Public defender is already telling him, just plead guilty to this and plead guilty to that, and you're just gonna get probation, and they're gonna send you home. You're gonna be good to go. Well, that's just a tactic to get you into the system and get a record on you and create a profile on you, so now you can be forever attacked in their system. All right, I don't like to sound negative about that, but that was just a negative perspective. But check that out. So what if you went into AI, right? And you don't have the money for an attorney, or you don't trust an attorney to really look out for your best interest, right? So okay, let's go in there and say, okay, what would I ask? What would I ask AI? Right? I would tell AI, well, what would be a good approach, right, to dealing with a situation where I'm a minor, cause or not even a minor, but under 18. I had a situation with the law, and I want to go about it from a standpoint where I can deal with the situation without having to get an attorney. So it'll give you a little bunch of small little basic information. But within that small basic information, you're going to see keywords. It may say some things like remedy, to get a remedy, or to get a remedy from this charge you're facing, or to get a remedy from prosecution, or whatever the case may be. You're going to see some words, you guys, that you never ever seen before, because in the law and in different forms of business, there are different terms they use that we don't use every day. But you're going to use the general information that they give you to find the keywords to pose the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth question as you narrow it down to giving you exactly what you need to have understanding without ever having had this understanding ever, because the AI can give it to you. And what AI normally does, y'all, AI goes and checks out all the public records. It finds all the keywords to all the public records, and when it gives you stuff, it's giving you actually, official type documented type stuff that's out there. You just got to know how to, um, you know, recognize keywords and then use those keywords again and again and again until you narrow it down to what you really need. And I'm gonna give you one more example, and then that will be the last example we get, and we can close this out. So the last example would be this. Okay, so let's say I got hit by 18 wheeler. And I'm using this example because this is real. And it's a person who I know experienced a situation and has not gotten a remedy because they don't know how to go about getting a remedy. But okay, I got hit by 18 wheeler, right? And then I'm okay, I'm damaged. I've been really injured. My property been damaged, whatever. Okay. So I don't know anything about law. So I go ask the AI, okay. I give it a scenario. And personally, right, when I ever use I tell AI to act in a certain capacity. So if I'm talking about law, I say acting in a legal capacity. If I'm talking about construction, acting as a consultant in construction, acting as whatever, provide me with this information. So I may start out with acting as a prosecuting attorney for a company that's liable for damages. I just start general like that, acting as a prosecutor against a company, that's liable for damages. How would I proceed in an action as an individual? Because if you just say, how do I sue and all that, you'll get general information. So it's gonna tell you, it's gonna warn you about doing stuff on your own. You want to go see an attorney? Don't try this. You have to have all this knowledge. It's gonna kind of like really, try to steer you because it's all designed to steer you back to them. But it's gonna give you some information. But it's gonna say that, but then gonna say otherwise, you have the right as an individual,
I'm not
as
right. Go
a
ahead.
private person or a certain party. It's gonna tell you
Go
all these
ahead.
things too. Now, once it tell you these things, y'all, it may not be clear enough for you because you may not have enough background in what it's saying, right? So then you take those keywords. Okay, it may say some things like it may use a Latin term. A Latin term is used in law all the time so that the average person cannot keep up with what's being said because they do not need the average person to know the law. Because if you knew the law, you could defend yourself, protect yourself, stop even the government from taking things from you. You can even stop them from doing what things like for instance, we had in Chicago, right? They came up with cameras, right, that take pictures of you going through the intersection. And we used to stand at the intersection waiting on the bus, looking at the cameras snap all the time, even when people weren't going, even though people weren't running the light. It's crazy, right? Now, so we used to see stuff like that. Now, people used to come to me, right? And I'm gonna keep it real. They would consider me the shade tree mechanic type attorney, right? Because I'm not a real attorney, but I'm that shade tree. So then they can get me on the low, and they can get me to help them. And the amount of money they're gonna give me is really nothing compared to if they went to an attorney. So they're looking at it like, well, if it don't work, it's okay, right? They're looking at it like that, right? But my joint work, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not giving them an opinion. I'm not giving them a guess. I go look at the code. I go right to the code. When I go to the code, I pull out the law. So what I'm telling you guys is tonight, since we're talking about understanding how to use GPT and use different type of AI, you can start looking and making questions about for every situation that you may have that may be legal. Never use the first answer or the second answer. Always take the answer they give you, pull out keywords, restructure that answer until you're getting stuff significant that's telling you what you need and you feel that that's a real solution. Because half the time, if you're getting someone giving you a solution and it's not clear or you don't see how it can help you, you don't have a solution. So tonight, I want to just share that information about the GPT, and you got Bard because I use Bard a lot. I use GPT, and they have a lot of paid AI. But at the same time, y'all, they have tons of free ones that are actually free out there. All you gotta do is do searches on free AI products and tools, and you may find out that exactly what you're doing, whatever it may be, there's a tool that will take something that would take you hours to do, will take you a few minutes. So I thank everybody for showing up. We got 615 King, BOK Mikey. We got New York Girl. We got 95th, Lady Vay, 2023. Johnny Peace in the house. Universal Dragon, of course. We got my boss, Miss Boss Lady, Miss Rocks. We got EB21. And we got people publicists here tonight in our studio audience. And we thank everybody for showing up. So make sure you go to our website, Creators1News.com, and just get a look at what we're doing and how we're moving. And if you want to book us for anything, you can go to the page where you can book us because we are actually providing services as well. Thank you for showing up. Good night.